What if I told you that your blood type might be the result of an ancient cosmic accident? That somewhere in our distant past, something so unusual happened that it created a blood type that technically shouldn't exist? Today we're talking about O-negative blood, often called the universal donor. But here's what most people don't know: O-negative blood is actually a genetic puzzle that has scientists scratching their heads. This blood type represents what researchers call a deletion mutation. Basically, your ancestors lost something that almost every other human on Earth still has. And the story of how this happened is far more interesting than any science textbook will tell you. We're going to explore why O-negative blood exists at all, why it's so rare, and what this might tell us about human evolution. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some scientists refer to O-negative as the forbidden bloodline. Let's start with the basics that everyone thinks they know about blood types. Most people learn that there are four main blood types: AB, AB, and O. They learn that O-negative is the universal donor and AB positive is the universal receiver. But what they don't learn is that blood types are actually about proteins on the surface of your red blood cells. Think of these proteins like name tags that your immune system uses to recognize what belongs in your body and what doesn't. People with type A blood have A proteins on their red blood cells. People with type B blood have B proteins. People with type AB have both A and B proteins. But here's where it gets interesting: people with type O blood have neither A nor B proteins. At first glance, you might think O blood is just the absence of these proteins. But that's not quite right. The reality is much more complex and much more mysterious. Your blood type is determined by a gene called the ABO gene. This gene contains the instructions for making the proteins that become your A or B markers. People with type A blood have a working version of the gene that makes A proteins. People with type B blood have a working version that makes B proteins. People with type AB have both working versions. But people with type O blood have something completely different. They have a broken version of the gene. Not just absent, actually damaged. The O allele, as scientists call it, contains what's known as a deletion mutation. A chunk of the genetic code is simply missing. It's like someone took scissors to the DNA and cut out a critical piece. This deletion is so severe that the gene cannot produce any functional protein at all. Now here's the part that should make you wonder: how did this happen? In most genetic conditions, when a gene gets damaged this badly, it causes serious problems. Broken genes usually mean broken bodies. But with type O blood, not only do people survive just fine, they actually have some advantages. O-negative blood can be given to anyone in an emergency. People with O blood tend to have lower rates of heart disease. They're less susceptible to certain types of malaria. Some studies suggest they might even have better memory function as they age. So we have a severely damaged gene that somehow provides benefits. This is what scientists call a beneficial mutation, and they're extremely rare. Let's talk about how rare O-negative blood really is. Globally, only about 6.6% of the population has O-negative blood. But this number varies dramatically by ethnicity and geography. In some populations, like certain African communities, O-negative blood is virtually non-existent. In parts of Western Europe, it can be found in up to 15% of the population. This distribution pattern tells us something important about when and where this mutation occurred. The highest concentrations of O-negative blood are found in populations with significant Celtic and Basque ancestry. The Basque people of northern Spain and southern France have the highest rates of O-negative blood in the world. Some isolated Basque communities have O-negative rates as high as 25%. This is not a coincidence. The Basque people are genetically unique in Europe. They speak a language unrelated to any other known language. Their genetic markers suggest they've been isolated in their mountain regions for thousands of years. Some researchers believe they might be the last remnants of the original European population, from before the major migrations that brought most other European groups to the continent. If this is true, it means the O-negative mutation might be incredibly ancient. We're talking about something that could have happened 10,000 to 40,000 years ago. But here's where the mystery deepens even further. The Rh factor, that's the positive or negative part of your blood type, adds another layer to this puzzle. Rh negative blood, which includes O negative, represents another deletion mutation. People with Rh negative blood are missing an entire protein complex that almost all other humans have. The combination of being type O and Rh negative means you have two major deletion mutations. You're missing the ABO gene function and the entire Rh protein complex. From a genetic standpoint, this should be problematic. But instead, O-negative people become universal donors. Now let's talk about some of the more unusual characteristics that researchers have noticed in people with O-negative blood. Studies have shown that women with Rh-negative blood have higher rates of pregnancy complications. Specifically, if an Rh-negative mother carries an Rh-positive baby, her immune system may attack the baby's blood cells. This condition is called hemolytic disease of the newborn. Before modern medicine, this would have been often fatal. Even today, it requires careful monitoring and sometimes medical intervention. From an evolutionary standpoint, any genetic trait that makes reproduction more difficult should be selected against. Yet Rh-negative blood persists. This suggests that the benefits must be significant enough to outweigh these reproductive challenges. Some researchers have proposed that Rh-negative blood provides protection against certain pathogens. Others suggest it might be linked to enhanced immune function in other areas. There are even theories that it provides some kind of neurological advantages, but none of these theories fully explain why two major deletion mutations would be beneficial. Let's explore some of the more unconventional theories about O-negative blood. Some researchers have suggested that the mutations occurred as a response to environmental pressures. Perhaps there was a pathogen or toxin that affected people with normal blood proteins. Those with the deleted version survived better and passed on their genes. This kind of selection pressure has happened before in human evolution. The alien theory probably comes from the fact that Rh-negative blood can cause problems during pregnancy. Some people interpret this as evidence that Rh-negative people are somehow different from other humans. But the reality is much more mundane. Pregnancy complications can occur with many genetic differences between parents and children. The Rh factor issue is just more dramatic and visible than most. Sometimes major deletions or disruptions can provide advantages. This has implications for how we think about genetic diversity and adaptation. It also suggests that there might be other forbidden bloodlines or unusual genetic variations that we haven't fully understood yet. The human genome is full of surprises, and O-negative blood is just one example of how genetics can be stranger than we expect. The story of O-negative blood reminds us that human genetics is far more complex and interesting than most people realize. Your blood type isn't just a medical detail. It's a window into your ancestral past and your biological future. If you found this topic as fascinating as I do, let me know in the comments what other genetic mysteries you'd like to explore. And if you have O-negative blood yourself, I'd love to hear about your experiences with blood donation or any health patterns you've noticed. Don't forget to subscribe for more content exploring the hidden mysteries of human biology. There's so much more to discover about what makes us uniquely human.